Tanzania, land of wild animals, Kilimanjaro, and Zanzibar. Javed, the photographer, will take us to discover his island, Zanzibar. In this Tanzanian archipelago that combines the colors of Africa and the Orient, music and the heady fragrance of spices blend into the sea. Tanzania is also a great jungle book. Pascal, the guide, will take us on a trip through a wild world that is like something from the dawn of humanity. Kilimanjaro, the highest summit in Africa, in the middle of the land of the Washaga people. Simon, the marathon runner, holds the record for the ascent and descent of Kilimanjaro. This mountain is his whole life.
Today, we benefit greatly of this mountain. This is not only the Wachaga people, this is a treasure for my country.
We approach the eastern coast of Africa by the Indian Ocean. Zanzibar, a mythical name, an archipelago of nearly 75 islands that was united to nearby Tanzania in the 1960s. Only some 15 of the islands are inhabited. Zanzibar is an important port of call on sea routes. The main island is called Unguja. For a long time, it had a reputation as an important and flourishing trading post, a port from which the famous dhows set sail for far-off destinations. Javed is a photographer. We could even say he is the photographer of Zanzibar. His family came from India and settled here more than a century ago. For the last 15 years or so, Javed has been photographing life on the archipelago. He now has a collection of more than 50,000 photos. To show his work, Javed started his own publishing house and bookshop in Stone Town, the main town on the island. He publishes on the average 3 books of photos a year. These books, dealing with the history and culture of his country, have been translated into many languages. This may sound like a success story, but it was necessity, not choice, that led Javed down this path. After repeated refusals of his work, he decided to take his future into his own hands.
When I did my photography in UK, I had approached almost all the publishers in Europe and says, look, I've just finished and I'm going to Zanzibar and I want to do a book on Zanzibar. Everyone said, sorry, there's no market for Zanzibar. There's no commercial market. Zanzibar is too small. I mean, we do books where it would sell millions or at least 5,000, 10,000. I had approached every big publishers. I'm talking about 93, 92, 94. Everyone said Zanzibar is not our market. So I said, well, if no one else wants to do it, I'm going to do it.
Javed also launched a regular magazine on life in Zanzibar. He gets to see local life from a privileged point of view, so he invited us to come along with him as he works. It's a rather eclectic program, but fascinating to watch.
That's the one which is going to go into that. Okay, so you're still following it up, eh? All right, okay.
This one morning, Javed started out by looking up into the air. He wanted to photograph the first colors of what to us look like simple buds.
This is the king crop of Zanzibar. Zanzibar has always depended on cloves. During 60s and 70s, Zanzibar used to export earnings on this. However, now tourism is taking more, bringing more revenue in terms of cloves. Clove trees, when it's in season, you can smell cloves. Everywhere you go, you smell cloves, you see cloves. All the village people, everyone, they're working on the cloves. In the evening, they come and take all the cloves out from the tree. Next day, they put it on the floor and they dry it. So it takes 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. This is Zanzibar nutmeg and mace. And in Zanzibar, they make the powder of this. And for the wedding night, they always give it to bride. So she gets a bit of a high. And this is the secret of Zanzibar wedding. If there's no nutmeg and mace, there's no wedding in Zanzibar. Yes, smell of Zanzibar. The smell of Zanzibar wedding.
The name Zanzibar is, of course, closely associated with the spice trade. Cardamom, pepper, nutmeg, cinnamon, cumin, cloves, all these spices contributed to the wealth and reputation of this island. Many merchants settled here, bringing with them their cultures and their traditions. Zanzibar, a blend of colors, of smells, but also of ethnic groups and civilizations. But the history of Zanzibar also has its somber side. For a long time, the archipelago's fortune was also built on the slave trade. Up to 50,000 human beings passed through the docks of Stone Town every year. They were sold here before being transported to other countries. Even after slavery was abolished, the traffic continued in clandestine places here, and the slave trade went on until after the end of the First World War.
عالمنا الدورة عالمنا الدورة عالمنا الدورة عالمنا الدورة.
This woman is undoubtedly one of the last survivors of that tragic era. Biki Dude is 98 today, or 105. She doesn't really know herself. But Biki Dude is not just the memory of a bygone age. She is above all a voice, a respected, even admired voice in Zanzibar. Javed has just finished a book about her, and like any artist, she signs her name to it, written in Arabic. It's the only word she knows how to write, the only word she knows how to read.
Nobody ever taught me how to sing. I started when I was 10 and have been singing ever since. That's right. I learned how to sing in the Arab dhows. Do I still sing? Of course I do. How would I eat if I didn't sing? I'd live on thin air? You're kidding.
Then Javed takes us to see, and more importantly to hear, an all-female orchestra. Women who take up music and play under a man's direction, this may sound normal, but here it's a great step forward. In this country with its double Arabic-African influence, women's freedom is not always encouraged. The creation of this musical ensemble is a first that Javed didn't want to miss.
You know, there are some people who do not allow their children or their daughters or their wives to perform with men, you know, men and women group. But they allow them to have to participate in women groups. So I think it's going to be an interesting, very interesting, to bring back these women groups whereby you find, because there are women who are very talented.
Well, these women started to play the music almost 2.5 months, not years. Nobody can believe about this.
And it will be for Zanzibar a new thing. And usually one starts, others start complaining, say, why women? But then later, all of them support. This is how life is.
The sound of the Tarab music with its multiple influences is still ringing in our ears, and already Javed is sweeping us off to another destination, Uzi Island. On this rather forgotten island, the inhabitants are somewhat wary of our approach and tend to avoid us. At first. The reason that Javed has come here is simple. He wants to photograph the mangrove forest, which after a period of regression has once again started to grow. These young shoots he is photographing are a true symbol of regeneration.
Very nice. This mangrove is lost. I think it's just a new life has just grown over here. Very interesting. I like it.
Coming around a bend in the mangrove, we're greeted by one of the locals. In the beginning, Fazin was self-appointed guardian of the mangrove, but now the authorities have made his position official. He looks after the proper development of this fragile environment that is indispensable to the balance between so many species.
In Zanzibar, only now 2 villages, big mangrove like this. Here Uzi and we call it Chwaka.
Chwaka, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So here we just we prepared or we protect. Any person don't come to cut it.
When they cut the mangroves, what do they use the mangroves
They use it for charcoals.
Okay.
For charcoals only.
Only charcoals.
And charcoals and to how to, if you want to go now to build a house, you can just for put a tin on for the house.
Boriti.
Yes.
Okay. So Sasabi, in Uzi Island, you do not allow them to cut.
Yes, that is. If you cut this, we're gonna at the police station and police come and mangrove is because mangrove to protect to say the bath. The fish is small, big fish come inside and bath here.
So all the big fish,
Yes.
they come here.
Yes.
And they give birth to babies.
Yes.
And they live here.
Yes.
Before they go out.
Yes. When the high tide, they move.
Okay. So if we cut the mangroves, we have no fish.
Yes, no fish.
If there's no fish, no fishermen.
Yeah, no fish.
And that means we're all in trouble.
Yes.
Which is same species?
This same type. This mucho. This and this.
So there are 6 species you said, eh? Mangroves?
Five types of mangrove.
Oh, found on Uzi Island.
This is the seed of this type.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you want to, they remove, they go like this. And this become how to grow. It grow itself. Don't come person to grow. It grow with itself. Yes.
But preserving the mangrove forest without maintaining the activities of the population is pointless. So for all parties to live in harmony, they have to try to develop alternative small-scale activities.
So this project of honey bee, how to prepare the honey. So we call this project of special for ladies of the village to prepare to take honey, and honey then is sold.
How many do you have this now? How
This
many
approximately
sites?
more than 20 those inside. So this called very nice honey for flowers of mangrovias.
Okay.
But they normally they settle 3 months or 4th month they come to take off.
Back on the main island of Unguja, Javed, always on the move, takes us to Nungwi, the boat builders' village. This is where the famous boats are built, the dhows, that made the seafaring reputation of Zanzibar. Today, Javed has come to see the boat he is having built. He plans to sail through the whole archipelago, exploring the lesser-known nooks and crannies of the different islands, and capturing the light and the landscapes he feels so strongly about.
The people of Nungwi have been building the dhows for almost years, centuries. And this is the very famous place. All the master dhow men from Nungwi. And Nungwi is renowned for making dhows for a lot of... and the traditions are passed from father to son, father to son. This is how people have learned. So basically, Nungwi is the dhow capital of the world, I would say. I would say dhow capital of Zanzibar. And I think that's the way it is. It takes about 3 months to make a boat, and it involves a lot of people. So you're looking at about 7, 8 people working on for 3 months by the time the boat is finished. So it's a long, tedious work, and everything is done by hand. It's a labor of love.
Without blueprints, using only the eye's precision and a great deal of skill, these men build vessels that can face the whims and tantrums of the Indian Ocean and link the islands of the archipelago. Even if times have changed and Zanzibar has lost its prestige and its fame, Javed still looks upon these islands with the eyes of his passion and continues to capture with his cameras all the natural and human beauty of this land that he loves. Pascal is a retired professor of natural history.
Animals, everywhere.
This nature lover knows how to read and interpret the local wildlife like an open book. At present, he volunteers his time to do observation missions for Tanzania's national parks. Discovering with him the Tarangire National Park, one of the country's lesser-known parks, is quite a treat, spiced up by his enthusiasm for this incredible wildlife refuge, one of the planet's privileged sanctuaries. Pascal got a special permission to leave the main trails to get a closer look at the wildlife. For Pascal, just being in the presence of the animals and observing them is an endless source of wonder.
I love nature, I love animals, I love the natural environment. I grew up as a young boy in the village, and we used to do a bit of hunting, and so I got used to wild animals, to birds, to plants and vegetation and natural environment. And then later on, as I grew up, I was trained as a naturalist and a wildlife manager.
The Tarangire Park contains the highest population density of elephants in the world. They are attracted to a marshy zone here and to the Tarangire River, a permanent source of water that gave its name to the park. This zone, the swamp as it is called here, attracts more than elephants. A multitude of species share this space, and large colonies of migratory birds come to winter here every year. Among all the species that live here, Pascal has a particular fondness for the elephants. He can spend hours observing their behavior and their movements.
You know, they walk in a kind of an extended line. If you look at it, you'll see that you have the mothers, leading the way, and then they have the babies in between, and then you have some behind, just to make sure that the babies are well protected. And they're coming to graze now in the swamp, and to drink too.
Here, the animals live together and share their territory where each one has its own niche. The animals roam free, and the humans stay in their four-wheel drive vehicles. There is real danger. This is not a zoo. The natural behavior of the animals must not be disturbed.
The trunk has so many functions. For breathing, for drinking, it sucks in water, pumps it in the mouth. Yeah, and for smelling, for fighting, for love making, caressing, it uses the same trunk. Yeah. When they're born, they weigh about 100 to 120 kilograms. They grow very quickly when they're young, and then when they start getting to the age of 5, 6, they grow down slowly.
After their migration to different watering holes, the elephants regroup into smaller family units. The young in training are learning to use their trunks like a baby its thumb. Elephants are very protective animals. You're best off listening to Pascal's advice and not get too close to them.
Yeah, that is Tarangire Hill.
End of the first day of our special elephant safari. But on the way back, nature treats us to yet another wonderful sight. Like at the beginning of time, animals still live here with their own rules in total harmony. The next day, Pascal tracks down a herd of buffalo. All of a sudden, we are the ones being observed. Buffalo are one of the big five. That is the 5 most dangerous species of African wildlife.
These are social animals that live in a big herd. They are fairly dangerous. They have killed a lot of hunters. Hunters who thought they are just like cows, but in fact they are not. They are very cruel, and if you come very close to their babies. These animals, there are times when they lose their temper. For example, if they've been wounded by a bullet and they are solitary, they are hiding somewhere, don't get very close to them. When they're having their afternoon siesta or just a nap, they are resting and they are solitary, don't disturb them. If you do, they can be very wild. These are animals that can change their moods, like sometimes women can change moods too.
The proximity of water in the Tarangire attracts a large number of animals, and sometimes a big cat perched in a tree watches its prey with a lazy, unconcerned eye. Without Pascal's trained eye, we certainly wouldn't have spotted this leopard hidden up in the branches. He appears almost shy, but all his senses are alert. Then suddenly he feels that his territory is being invaded.
I enjoy just being in the wild. It is interesting to visit, to see these animals in their natural environment. They have different behaviors, different activities that they do, and it gives me a lot of spiritual satisfaction and recreation to some extent. And so I really enjoy. I don't mind being out in the bush for 2 months. I'm just very happy.
Somewhat apart from other species in the Tarangire Park, large groups of lions enjoy this vast hunting ground, abounding in easy-to-catch prey.
Lions are very common here in Tarangire, and as you can see in this river, where they have just killed a fresh zebra, and they love the zebra meat. The females are quick and fast, and they normally hunt as a team. So here, 6 of them have managed to hunt this zebra, and they are now feeding on it. Yeah, look over there.
A hunt begins before our very eyes. But this time, the zebra is too fast.
Usually these animals, although they are social, but when it comes to table manners, I think they have the poorest of it. Because even if there's plenty of food here, they still scramble for food. And sometimes, even if there are cubs here, they will eat first and the cubs will eat later.
During the lion's lunch hour, some unexpected visitors burst in on the scene. A strange vehicle with a rake antenna, an odd tool to bring to the feline's feast. Quick introductions are made, and we learn that these people are scientists who are tracking and counting the different prides of lions.
Yeah, we have about 6 radio collars that help us to follow the population trend, and also we collect range use pattern. We're estimating that the ecosystem has about 400 to 500 lions, the entire ecosystem, Tarangire and the surrounding areas. They're decreasing actually because of the human-lion conflicts, the retaliatory killing from the pastoralists surrounding Tarangire National Park, and also the hunting activities.
Others are also waiting for their share of the food. The vultures are the park's garbage disposal crew.
These are carrion eaters. And the reason why they're here is because they have spotted these lions eating this zebra meat here. So they're hanging around, just waiting for the lions to go so that they can come close and feed on the leftovers. These birds are so important in the ecosystem because, they're the ones who cleans up everything. Otherwise, the whole area would have been smelling, awfully.
Pascal is curious about everything. He knows this territory like the back of his hand, and he wanted to show us another animal. An animal one encounters sometimes here, a strange, even improbable creation of nature.
That is one of the largest monitor lizards around here, which has a total length of about 2.5 meters. And they are here because they feed, there is enough food for them. They feed on catfish. There are a lot of catfish in this swamp. Yeah, the lizard is there. It was trying to climb a tree, I think, to go and check if it can get some eggs of some birds, because it also feeds on eggs. Those are what we call Maasai giraffe. And there are quite many in Tarangire. There are quite many, moving around and feeding on the acacia leaves. They are kind of prehistoric animals that still exist on Earth today. They don't have many predators because of they've got very powerful eyesight, and they are fairly big. Because of their big size, the lions are the only predator that can kill, the giraffe. And they wait until when they are drinking and they are bending their neck, then it is easy for them to ambush.
For Pascal, contemplating this sanctuary of nature means more than simply observing the animals. It evokes a particular train of thought.
I'm never bored with seeing these animals. I love coming to see these animals because they are quite interesting. They are very refreshing. They are beautiful to see. And every time I come here, it keeps my mind fairly cool. And so I have what you call peace of mind, when I'm out. And that makes life really good.
White Mountain, mountain of splendor, house of God. For the peoples of the Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest mountain has different names, different faces. Mount Kibo, almost 6,000 meters high, is the highest of the 3 peaks that make up Kilimanjaro. It is the true symbol of the whole mountain. Simon Mtui is a child of the Washaga tribe, and this mountain has given him everything. He was 16 years old when he first climbed to the summit of Kilimanjaro, his mountain.
This is a beautiful mountain. It has been my livelihood for 20 plus years of climbing this mountain and making my progress of life. It remains symbolic for Wachaga. It's a hidden place. It's a mountain of God. And when you get a punishment there from the cold, you have to believe it's a mountain that nothing exists there.
For the Washaga, this place is home to the spirits and their god Rua, who can bring the rains and ward off bad weather. In funeral ceremonies, the dead are buried facing Mount Kibo. And yet, according to their beliefs, this is not the original cradle of the Washaga people.
On the other side of the mountain, more the southeast, there's a small mountain called as the Kifunika. This Kifunika is a mountain where the Chaga people believe that's where the origins of Wachaga. We go there from our worship, and this mountain has so many places where Wachaga people do their sacrifice.
But now a persistent question dogs the mind of Simon and the other Washaga. What is the future of Mount Kibo and its glacier? Scientists believe that the glacier will have completely disappeared sometime between 2020 and 2025.
When I was a child, at the age of 16, when I summited the mountain the first time, basically the glacier were way down halfway the mountain. And this glacier now, they are not longer existing. You can just see little patch of the glaciers there, but it is almost gone. We need more scientific proof to understanding what is really going on this mountain. I feel sad. I feel like this is something that I would like my son or my children to come and see these amazing glaciers. And when I visualize what I've seen, when I see what I saw on the past, I feel imbalance. I feel like something is missing.
Simon, a native son of this land, is an enthusiastic runner, or more precisely, he's a professional marathon man. In 2006, he did the ascent and descent of Kilimanjaro in the amazing time of 9 hours and 21 minutes. Every year, Simon takes part in a number of international events, especially in different states in North America, where he is ranked among the best in endurance runs and ultramarathons. Simon trains almost every day here in the hills around Kilimanjaro, right where he was born. This tiny woman with the heavy load on her head is Simon's mother. She's 68. Like all the Washaga, she works every day on the family farm where they raise livestock. She's somewhat less enthusiastic about her son's activity.
You say too much running. I say too much running. It's okay but in the mountain, now come the money. He say it's not a very good place to go. He say Kifoni is like a death zone. It's not a very good place to go.
Here in the family hut is where Simon was born, along with his 9 brothers and sisters. His family is always very surprised each time they see him returning home from the United States. But for Simon, the pull of his mountain is stronger than anything else.
I'm very happy here to live my life in the village. And I go every year for running, and I come back here. And my mother, she was very happy when I say to her, I go to America and I come back. And I go and come back. So even with my first time attempting to get a visa, it was very difficult because, for example, in American embassy, they have to ask you this question: what will make you to come back home? I say to them, my family. They say, what are you saying? I say, it's my family. So I come back for this. There's a good things on this country. Everything is possible here, and much easier than in US. You walk and you pay the bills. You walk, you pay the bills. Of course, you do the same here, but it's a different mentality.
Simon's father, a giant almost 2 meters tall. He's 85 and in fine health. He too still continues looking after his farm. But his real passion is raising short-legged chickens, as he calls them. They lay the best eggs in the village, or so he claims.
See, this is the mother of all the chicken with the short legs. It's a freedom. I feel like there's nothing after this. My heart, my body, I feel refreshed after run. I like this every day. I do it.
Simon's garden is his pride and joy. He grows his own vegetables, 100% organic. No fertilizer, no chemicals. He uses only his own compost.
My father, he didn't know how to read or to write. So he teaches us how to grow maize, how to grow coffee, how to work hard. And I think I take this forward from my grandfather to my father. And today I want my son to enjoy the same thing.
Like all the Washaga, who are excellent farmers, he grows taro, bananas, rhubarb, some flowers, and his own coffee, 600 to 800 kilos a year.
If I wish to do more commercial, I will spray a chemical, but I don't do it. It's just let the nature live itself.
And that's not all he has to be proud of. Simon grows what are very exotic fruits for this region, strawberries, that he serves up to the travelers in his rural guest house that he has set up. The guests are mostly Americans.
I think there is a reason for the clients to come to the village. There's a reason for the clients to come to enjoy the culture, to talk to the people, to see the people of Wachaga. And not only to be with them on the mountain, also to learn how their livelihood, besides going on the mountain, besides going on the safari. So I make sure the clients come here, they get the richness of this country.
When he started to get a reputation in the United States, thanks to the marathons and endurance runs, Simon developed a network of relations. He receives his clients, Kilimanjaro climbing enthusiasts, in his rural guest house.
I want to make sure that everyone is aware of what you're going to go through. The climb is not a joke. It's not a walkabout. It's a mountain that you're going to climb. So you have to be very aware of what is going to go on with yourself. We know for sure the summit is not what brought you here. This is experience. We want you to have a full of experience, experience that you wish to come here for.
I actually heard about Simon when I was on the top of a mountain in Colorado. Someone who knew Simon from the distance running told me about him and wrote down the website, and that's how I found it. I discovered about 3 years ago that I really liked climbing mountains, and I'm kind of good at it, and so I wanted to come here and climb Kilimanjaro and see Africa as well.
You need to make sure you're drinking, you're eating enough. You need to make sure you're sleeping enough. You need to make sure you're warm enough. And when you arrive to the camp today, they're going to measure the vital sign again. What they're looking for is your O2 sat, your oxygen saturation, how much oxygen you carry in your body. Secondly, they're looking your heart rate.
There are several places I wanted to see in the world. I wanted to see Patagonia in South America and see Machu Picchu in Peru. But this has always been, I think, part of that dream is Africa and Kilimanjaro, as well as all the land around it.
And of course, we like you to have that dream to be on the top of Africa, the highest peak of Africa. We would like to be part of you to make sure, side to side, you're going to get that dreams. For us here today, for me and my staff and the farm, this is our dream have come true. And we hope that by the end of the day, your dreams is going to come true.
Simon, constantly on the lookout for new ideas to promote the region, has developed an ecotourism activity, mountain biking around Kilimanjaro. His first two customers, Peter and Tom, are two Americans working for local NGOs. The complete tour of the mountain, more than 200 kilometers, will take about a week of sometimes difficult cycling. But Simon also wants his guests to discover the region and appreciate local traditions and culture. Simon, the son of Washaga peasants, is a man with deep roots in his native land. But he's also a man of his times and always has his cell phone in his hand, no matter where he goes. He's in daily contact with the company he created in Moshi, 40 kilometers from his farm. Several times a week, he goes to his office, which is housed in 3 recycled containers. With the help of a secretary and an assistant, he plans the schedules for his organization, which can, when there are expeditions on, employ up to 30 people a day, including guides and porters. It took 4 days for Simon and his teammates to get to the west side of Kilimanjaro. Herds of large animals migrate through this region, which is more sparsely populated and arid than the eastern part. Most often, they're fleeing the droughts on the nearby Kenyan plateaus. The mountain bike trek runs between Kilimanjaro and Mount Meru, the second highest peak in Africa. With the expeditions to the top of Kilimanjaro and his new mountain bike trek, Simon's activity is progressing smoothly. With respect for the surrounding environment and with his own convictions, Simon has succeeded in creating his niche by combining a land of traditions where he grew up and the new challenges of a world that's evolving quickly, very quickly. But perhaps what sums up Simon best of all is the attachment and the deep respect he feels for his mountain.
This mountain supplies not only the climate, not only the glaciers, the water, the good weather around this mountain. And to today, we benefit greatly of this mountain. This is not only the Wachaga people, this is a treasure for my country.
Since his first climb as a porter at the age of 16, Simon has been working on making his dreams come true, taking his destiny into his own hands. In his own way, he has become a sort of symbol of Africa on the move, open to the curiosity of the world. Morocco. This kingdom, forged from Arab, European, and African cultures, offers us the exotic magic of the Orient right next door to Europe. It's hard to resist as the country's enchanting light works its magic on you. And the people we're going to meet are all reflections of that warm glow. Abdullah, who lives in the region of Taliouine, will initiate us into the secrets of saffron. The origins of this age-old spice are still steeped in mystery. It's said to have many virtues, and it's worth its weight in gold, red gold. Julie is a nurse. She lives in a valley of the high Atlas, 5 hours of hard driving from the nearest village. This young French woman grapples with the harsh environment in order to care for the most remote communities. Ali and Lahope, guides in the Sahara, are old hands at crossing the desert. Following the traces of the mythical desert caravans, they are carrying on the tradition of the merchants that once traveled the south of Morocco.
What I like most about the desert are the long crossings. When you walk for weeks on end, you get a feeling of accomplishment at the end, a feeling that you haven't wasted your time.
The rugged range of Jebel Sirwa is a stunning link between the high Atlas and the Sahara, a land where you don't expect to find any trace of life. A voyage that only begins there where the trail ends. Long ago, people settled on these lunar plateaus to protect their goods from the pillaging tribes of the Sahara. Their villages blend in with the ochre landscape, as if they were trying to camouflage themselves, and their soil has become the cradle of a heaven-sent spice. They say that saffron was brought here in the 9th century by a tribe traveling from Arabia to Andalusia. Now, 600 years after being driven out of the Iberian Peninsula, their descendants have settled in this similar landscape.
Our great-grandparents were already growing saffron. It's part of us. We've been growing it for ages. We've all grown up with it. We've always grown it here in Taliouine. In other places, they're just starting to grow it. Saffron is an honored guest in our village here. A guest who arrives only in October.
Life in Tizgi, a village of small growers, follows the rhythm of saffron. For Abdullah and his family, this delicate plant is their whole life. It flowers for only 15 days a year, but from the picking all the way to the selling, it demands painstaking work. Everything about this crop has to be done by hand.
صافي اكسلتي ارسلين في عينك صافي يدك انت دو الخمسة يلا نتظل
We get up at 5 in the morning.
نفطر 5:15 5:30 سفر نتدو
We do our prayers.
سفر دقيقة غرس دان لك كما دغرس
Then we have breakfast and we set out around 5:30. We get to our saffron fields at daybreak, and we have to finish our work before the sun is up completely.
It's 400 meters from the village to the plateau where the saffron fields are located. The steep trail often runs right alongside a sheer drop. One has to belong to this land so as not to go astray.
It's a rough road, but people are used to it. They have no choice. The road isn't paved, there are only trails here. It's a 45-minute walk uphill all the way. It's a very narrow trail, a really tough climb. The trail is washed out in spots because of the rain. We repair it every time, but it keeps getting damaged. There's a storm, and that's it. Just this year, we've repaired it 3 times.
Caught by the first rays of the sun as they climb, these intrepid saffron growers run a race against time every day during the harvest.
Even if we have to get up early, it's okay. We're happy because we're eager to see all the saffron that grew during the night. We can't wait to get out and pick our treasure. If our field is flourishing, we're happy. When the flower opens and is exposed to the sun, the filaments scatter and they're lost. Here you see in the morning the flower is closed. And that's why we come so early.
Every morning, the plateau abounds with new flowers that contain the precious strands. An ephemeral miracle, and the villagers are quite grateful for this boon.
This is a very good year, and we hope it'll be just as good for the money. We have rich soil here. Saffron grows well thanks to the cool climate. There's a lot of humidity, and that makes for a very good saffron.
So far from the bustling cities, this is how life goes on for these Berbers, who are perfectly in harmony with the seasons of nature. The harvest follows the rhythm of the sun, and they have to stop picking as soon as the plateau starts to get warm. During the saffron season, every minute of work counts, and the whole family pitches in and helps. Even Saida, Abdullah's daughter, she attends school, but after class, she has to help her parents.
متى يحل وقت مسلسل أجابه أبوه اصبر حتى تنتهي النشرة الأخبار لا تحقق
من الزعفرانين صندوق الزعفرانين اها خدامة هي محمد لينا ايوه انا بحفظ
Saffron is vital to us because it's our only resource. That and a few animals we raise. But saffron is our #1 source of income. It's gold. It's gold, thanks be to God. Even when you get good saffron, the price doesn't amount to much compared to the work we growers put into it. Your eyes get tired, your hands, your legs. When you stay seated like this 4 or 5 hours at a stretch, afterwards you can't walk, you can't move, you can't go out. It's really strenuous. You work night and day during the saffron harvest, right up till the end. And the work has to be done right away. You can't put things off. It has a very short lifespan. If you let it go for 2 days, it's lost. It's just 1 month's work a year, but it's the equivalent of 4.
After a month of intense activity, Abdullah is ready to set out on a long road trip.
Okay, here I go. May God protect us. Pray for me. And Ahmed, what should I bring back for you? Now calm down now. I have to go. And you, Saida, what do you want?
Clothes.
And what else?
Shoes.
Shoes, God willing. I'll bring you back a pair of shoes. Bye now. And Rashida, come kiss my hand. What should I bring back for you?
Bring back clothes for her, too.
Okay, Mama, I'm going. Take care of the children. I won't be gone long, God willing.
May God protect you.
This small saffron grower from Tizgi will sell his red gold not just in the local cooperatives and souks. He'll go well beyond the region of Sirwa. From village to village, wherever his encounters may lead him, Abdullah takes us along on the second phase of his work when he is a door-to-door salesman.
You know, it's hard. I have to make these long trips, but I love this life. You're free in this kind of work. You work for yourself, from your own home, and you're not afraid of anyone.
السلام عليكم. تاني وين؟ أقدر يلا
How long will you be gone this time?
Oh, I'll be away a month, month and a half. It depends. I'm going to Ouarzazate, Rala, Rashidia, Gulmin, Tinuir, Tinjded. I'll sell my saffron in all those towns. People buy my saffron mainly in August, when you have all the weddings and celebrations. You know, we already knew that saffron has certain powers, and now it's been proven. So people are using it more and more. Now we know that it's really good for you.
The saffron harvested in the autumn is sold at different times throughout the year. It keeps for a long time and even improves with age. So when Abdullah needs money, he simply takes to the road.
السلام عليكم.
السلام ورحمة الله.
بخير.
تمام ماني
لاباس؟
بخير تهنا.
نعم.
لاباس كله.
ما تزنزات.
زعفران الحر.
واخا يلا بشي كده.
يلا سيدي بسم الله. يلا. مرحبا.
Here we go.
واخا يلا هي.
Let's have a look. It's pure saffron?
Of course it is. Top quality. It comes from my village. My saffron comes straight from my fields. I don't buy it in the souk.
Okay, I'll take 5 grams.
Well, look at it. Just take a whiff.
Great.
It's good. Homegrown, good. Even though it's this year's, it's light and dry. Nothing more delicate than the scales.
The scales have to be precise.
Well, you see, they're accurate.
Good.
That'll do it?
Yes, that's perfect. That smells good.
You're right. Plus, it has medicinal properties. It's good for colds and teas. It's good for what ails you.
Yes, it's good for everything.
It's even good for death.
Oh, that I didn't know.
The rising demand for this spice has driven up the prices and at the same time raised Abdullah's hopes of improving his family's standard of living.
By selling my saffron, I can buy clothes for the children, some sugar, tea, and flour. That's how it is with saffron. Saffron is money. Take a look.
It's a beautiful color. How much is it?
€5 a gram.
I'll take 4 grams.
I used to sell it for €2, €3, €4 a gram, but the price has gone way up.
That's expensive.
No, it's not expensive. If you know what goes into it, it's not a lot.
This is good saffron. I use it a lot. I put it in my tea to give it an aroma, in the tajin, the couscous. I use it for my children. I make an herbal tea with it when they're sick.
Live in a city? It's never even crossed my mind. This is where my children are growing up. This is our life. We have to grow saffron and apples. That's how it is. It's the earth that feeds us.
At the end of this voyage, the simple freedom of these men of the earth is a natural gift that feeds its own dreams in the silence and immensity of the high plateaus of Sirwa. The Tessaout, this valley in the high Atlas Mountains, was for a long time unexplored. Even at the beginning of the 20th century, it was not known that this remote valley was inhabited. It seems as if the modern world had stopped on the threshold of these deep gorges. Julie, 24, is a nurse. She left her life in the city of Lyon in France to spend a year in Morocco. Along with Khadija, her interpreter, she takes care of the people of the region. A minibus has set out during the night on the valley's single track to come get the 2 women and take them to the site of their next consultation.
We work together. She teaches me about everyday life here. This headscarf is part of that. So she's my guide. She's my interpreter and my guide.
They cover a vast area. Julie and Khadija work in 14 villages deep within the valley. Getting there is already an adventure in itself.
This track is very long. It stops in Magdaz. From there on, there's no more road. So we feel like we're in a completely isolated corner of the planet. It seems really far away from everything. And then we wonder, how's it possible that there are people actually living way out here? We think, my God, it's almost unnatural.
Mohammed has also come a long way to be taken care of. He's a farmer and lives in Ishbaken, about 20 kilometers away. It's a difficult trip, so he put it off as long as he possibly could. Now he has to do it.
It took him 4 hours on muleback to get here.
How long has he had these stomach pains?
It's been a month now.
Here you have the everyday gestures that would take 5 minutes in France, but here they take a lot longer because there are the constraints. We don't have all the equipment, there's no electricity. No doubt about it, it's a different way of life, a different rhythm.
Not much comes into this valley. Only a few of the local drivers are willing to tackle these rough roads. They are the only link between the first town and the inhabitants of the Tessaout Valley. This dispensary was opened in 2002 by a French association, Tassadour. Nurses come here to work for a year. They provide basic medical care and take part in public health programs.
We take care of the children, all the vaccinations, and the pediatric problems that might come up. Digestive infections, ear, nose, and throat, general medicine. And there's the family planning programs and a lot of pregnancy care and emergency care. That happens a lot. And we're also a presence for them. We've realized that the commitment and values are much more important here than the acts themselves. So just being here with them reassures them. It means a lot to them. Time is quite elastic here, so you let yourself go with it because you don't have a choice. It's the rhythm here, and you learn to live with it. There's no way to be stressed because that's just how it is. You learn to make do with what you have.
The most important thing in Tessaout is the Wadi, this stream of the same name. It not only irrigates the crops, but it also serves as a means of transportation.
It's a beautiful valley, but it's hard living here in the winter, especially when it snows. But in the spring, the water from the melting snow is very useful. Sometimes the river overflows, and that damages the crops. But we accept that because here, like everywhere else in the world, water is essential, and we respect water and all living things. The Tissaout is a magnificent region. It has a lot of water. We lead very simple lives, but the people here are happy. I don't like towns too much. Too much noise, hustle and bustle, cars everywhere. It's not for me. If they would improve the roads here, that would really make our lives better.
We go along with Julie and Khadija on the path to Taslint, 10 kilometers down from the dispensary, where they have to do some vaccinations. Most of the time, the two women make the trip on foot, conditions permitting.
We can't really make long-term projects because we never know what's going to happen. If we'll be able to make it back, if the road will be blocked, if it's going to rain, if the river's going to flood. So we have to live in the present moment, and that gives you a serenity. Their culture is very strong. Their family ties as well. The family is very important. They like living here. They don't want to leave. And from my experience, I can say, yes, these people like it here in their valley, and they want to stay. Life is hard here. The people, the women have to work in the fields. It's hard. And yet, there's a certain aura about them, and they're always ready to laugh. You want to feel sorry for them because we couldn't imagine living our whole life here. But in fact, the people are very happy here. I adapted to life here pretty quickly. I think that later, when I go back, it will be difficult to adjust. And yet I know full well that I'm a foreigner here, that I'm just here for a certain time to give what I can, live as fully as I can here, but that this is not my home. So it's good that it all has a beginning and an end.
Julie has surely found here the essence of what drew her to this profession. An authentic bond with these men and women whose everyday life is so different from ours. Now we head south towards even wider horizons. Towards a land where the voyager loses himself in both space and time. A harsh land where the buffeting winds sculpt the landscape, and the pitiless sun beats down on man and beasts. Here we're on the outskirts of the Sahara, halfway between the plains of Tafilalet and the Dra Valley. This region is the home of a myth, the myth of the great caravans. Laden with gold, salt, and other riches, they would ply the routes between Morocco, Niger, Sudan, and Mauritania. The caravans made the fortunes of men and cities, and thus created vital links between these countries. And now, what remains of them is a romantic image that lingers in our memories, and that of these two sons of the desert. Ali and Leho are guides in the Sahara. They are old hands at long crossings with their camels. 1.5 months, sometimes 2, completely on their own, cut off from the outside world. The two men have been traveling for several days now. They're taking their caravan over an old trail that leads to Timbuktu.
We're going to explore a trail that we've never taken before with the help of God. Le'o and I have been desert guides for about 20 years. We have experience and we set out looking for new routes. We're trying to find wells. If we can find water, we'll be able to open this new route to tourists.
The caravans used to transport dates, barley. There were no cars. It was done by camel. In the old days, they would carry a little gold and money that they would hide. It was all carried by caravan.
They also carried salt.
Right, and salt too. They'd carried henna. They used to carry a lot of henna. Now, there are no more caravans. That's all finished.
No compass, no GPS. They make their way to the Dra Valley by reading the signs of the earth. For several centuries, the columns of camels furrowed these fields of stone, but the traces of their passage are beginning to fade.
إن شاء الله. بعدها زيانة هات بعدها وريد داد الكوبري الله أعلم خصمك ها. لا ورني. ورتسين. ها؟ ورنشكي هورني مرين يعني غا.
We'll be right back. We're going to try to find the trail. Keep an eye on the camels.
They made this pile of stones back in the old days. They're all over the Nida region, all the way to Sakia La Hamra, and even down to the south of Morocco. We're on the right track. It's the trail that leads to the Dra Valley. This is a very old trail. These piles of stones, these cairns, are about 2,000 years old. They mark the trail to Tantan, Saka, La Hamra, and even into Mauritania.
ويا العفون سنيديرا يا ماضري وناول يا معذور الله ربي الله ربي يا الله ربي ويا العفون سنيديرا
غربي
دينا غني دينا نفصل نيشان مني داس نيشان ما برين سياسة يمكننا
فرد ياس وتاي أي خلاد وتاي فرد ومان هو يزدي زند الجوات خرطني تتف زند الجو تقريبا كتام دين ما يمكنش لا مرة تحلى ولكن بزاف الصحراء.
I like the city from time to time, but it's in the desert where I really feel alive. I feel part of a whole. I really feel my soul. I'm at one with nature. and I feel close to God. I feel a presence in this vast wilderness, in the starry sky, the moon. Out here, my thoughts become focused on life's essentials, the family, and especially my children. I feel at peace. The desert, it calms the soul and the mind.
After more than 10 days of traveling, our supply of water is almost finished. It's vital for both the men and the animals to find a well. Wells used to dot the length of the caravan route every 20 to 30 kilometers, but some have dried up and others have been forgotten.
They can go 15 days without water, and now it's only been a week. When water is available and they drink as much as they want, they can hold out for 15 days. And they'll drink about 40 liters of water now.
What I like most about the desert are the long crossings. When you walk for weeks on end, you get a feeling of accomplishment at the end, a feeling that you haven't wasted your time.
These important commercial routes once gave rise to flourishing cities in the middle of the desert. That golden age is now past, but some cities like Tanzania are still a stopover for these modern-day caravans. Ali and Laho take us to a traditional caravanserai to meet Baba Raglil, guardian of the past.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم
ضيف
السلام
الله.
ورحمة الله.
السلام عليكم.
على سلامتكم. على سلامتكم. انتم بخير. الحمد لله على سلامتكم.
كثير بخير.
على سلامتكم مرحبا بكل فرح.
جينا بواحد حنايا جينا بواحد.
We've come a long way with our caravan from Umjran, and we'd like to spend the night here in Tamgrut.
مرحبا بكم بكل فرح.
May come in, welcome.
مرحبا بكم.
بارك الله فيك. تفضل معنا سيدي.
He is a descendant of a caravaneer. He's also the living memory of this city. Tamgrut is home to a treasure, a library of thousands of books collected thanks to one man, a theologian named Mohammed ben Nasser. He used the caravans to import a store of knowledge here and make this city a center of learning for scholars of the time.
It was around 1000-something Vijira, that is, the 17th century for Europe. Mohammed bin Nasser taught theology, the Quran, and the sciences in Tamgrut to more than 1,400 students. He brought books on philosophy, grammar, medicine, astrology, Berber, Turkish, and Arabic. Our library's oldest book dates back to the year 483 of the Hijra, 1063 of your calendar. It comes from Cordoba and Andalusia. These works were written by scholars from all different countries. And Sidi Mohammed bin Nasser wanted all these books to be available to everyone, not only the elite. They used to say, may God make our country a land of religion, of culture, and a haven of peace for the poor and for the needy.
Ali and Laho know that to open the trail once they get past Tamgroot, the caravan is going to have to face a formidable obstacle: these high cliffs. The trail exists. Animals used to take it frequently, but Ali and Laho don't know exactly where it is.
بريد دا سميتو لا تبخش الا لا ضر غنكرا الحديد حاس السلام عليكم.
Hi there. Are you from around here?
Yes, I am.
بخير. انت من هنايا؟
Do you know the trails around here?
Yes.
بخير الحمد لله. يا ربي هات النيران دوس.
We'd like to go to Tizi and Toflet. I think that we're on the right path, but we're not sure. Maybe you could show us which way it is, please?
Sure, I can help you out.
Muadi, the nomad, agrees to join the expedition. He goes off to leave his motorcycle at his encampment and will hook up with the caravan a bit further along the way.
الله يرحم والدي. يلا. هانكوني نزور.
When you set out, your goal is to arrive at your destination, whatever the cost. It gets pretty tricky sometimes, but we've decided to revive the trails of our ancestors. In spite of the heat and the difficulties, I won't give up. Otherwise, that would be the end of everything. A whole world would disappear. We have to resist in order to preserve our heritage. This is our history, and we have to keep it alive for our children and future generations, God willing. Muadi, did you know the people that used to live here?
Yes. It was the Balu family that used to live here. They didn't have any blankets. They'd just cover up with a bit of ragged cloth and they'd eat a bit of bran bread. And Malu, she'd take shelter up there. That's where they'd keep the dromedaries. And a little further up is where he would stay, off by himself, and eat on his own.
غير زعما تيسيروا ان شاء الله.
مرة والحو. غير خطر.
اشكوت.
Look, a jackal did this.
وشنا.
Did you see?
امرت لي تناض غير.
نظر نشنين.
وشنا. تني. امرت لي تزقوا يد السمنه
To catch the jackal, they bury a trap here. And then, when the jackal digs it, he gets caught.
Hey, Muadi, which trail do we take?
The one on the right. Ali, please go check with him. I'm telling you, it's okay. No, Ali's going to check it out with you.
We're not going any further until we see what the trail looks like.
Go all the way to the end to check. You can make it through. Other caravans have come through before us with their donkeys and dromedaries.
Here, we're coming into a really tricky passage. Muadi knows the trail well. He says if we don't take it, we'll have to make a long detour all the way around. We'll have to tighten up the loads. Each one leads his dromedary, and we'll trust in God. But still, it's extremely rocky.
إن شاء الله. أنا وأنا يا إن شاء الله.
The hard thing in the desert is having the responsibility of the caravan when you're reopening a poorly marked trail. When there's a storm, bad weather, sandstorms, and when you're at the head of the caravan leading people and animals, it's not easy. You really have to back each other up in all situations. We may know the region very well, but even so, we always have to be very alert. Sometimes it's hard, but I wouldn't change my life for anything in the world.
مودي والمهم كعون ربي مودي سماحه ان شاء الله يا رب ان شاء الله ان شاء الله ارض ورياض ان شاء الله ان شاء الله استمر ان شاء الله عليه ان شاء الله مع السلامه
فضلنا كان اللي نزيتي زيننا مع تفليت كينا تولي زين الله يرحم والديك
شو انتي نطرتيني ان شاء الله ودي
بارك الله فيك
الله يرحم والدين الله يعاون
عبد السلام الله يعاون
الله يعاون ان شاء الله
طريق السلام طريق السلامه الله يعاون
وبالسلامه
Take to the road, make the journey, strike out to discover new lands, new hopes, and everything else will be granted to you. The long story of the caravans continues in this boundless landscape, heading towards new horizons. somewhere on Earth is off to Malawi in southern Africa. This little-known country, overshadowed by its larger neighbors, Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia, is one of the poorest places on Earth. Malawi, a land of plains and highlands, is also home to an immense lake that covers 20% of its territory. Gaspar, 27 years old, is the proud owner of an amazing one-of-a-kind guitar. He earns his living thanks to his instrument and his passion for music. Now, after 11 years on the road, he's on his way back to his native village. Freddie's realm is the sky. This young Dane grew up in Tanzania and learned how to fly in South Africa. Freddie, always ready for adventure, loves Africa and is now a full-fledged bush pilot. Teresa, a determined young woman, is a champion runner. Year after year, she has won one of the sport's most challenging events, an extreme half marathon up the slopes of Mount Kilimandjaro, Malawi's highest mountain.
Running is my life. If I'm sick, I run and I feel better. When I have an attack of malaria, I run and it just goes away. Running is my medicine.
Gaspar is a musician, and despite the hardships in Malawi, he has managed to live his life to the upbeat tune of his music. This trip is a return to his roots. When his brother died 12 years ago, it changed his life. He decided to leave everything behind and let his music take him where it would, as a way of exorcising the sudden tragedy that struck his brother. Gaspar's story is also the story of a land whose musical heritage goes as deep as its people's roots.
I always travel with my guitar. I meet a lot of people on the road. When I play, it makes people happy. People love to dance here. I'm on my way back to my native village. I'm traveling from Nkata Bay on the lake. That's where I've been living for the past 11 years. I'm going home. I'm going to see my family and friends.
Traveling in Malawi means walking in an African land where time, smothered by the heat, slows to a crawl. This country is situated at the southern tip of the Great African Rift Valley. In the local dialect, Malawi evokes sunlight sparkling on the surface of the water and the glimmer of flames. The immense lake of the same name covers a fifth of the country, making this reservoir of fresh water Africa's third largest lake.
Are you ready to dance? I'm the man with the sounds. I'm going to say hello to the elders. Then later we'll get down to the business of dancing. Come on, kids. This always happens when I come into a village. First, the children tag along with me, then, little by little, the adults gather round. The people here love music. Hello. How you doing? I'm just doing a little publicity while waiting for the sunset. I've come along with my guitar, and it's going to get very lively here. I play and the villagers give me some money. That's how I make my living. First, I sing for free, and then if you want me to keep going, you have to give me some money. It's my sole means of support. The string's dead. I have to change it. The sound will be better. It's a very simple instrument. It takes me 5 minutes to get ready. I can even do it in 2 minutes.
Now it's okay. Ndamaliza.
Out in the bush or on the shores of the lake, there are very few leisure activities here. So whenever Gaspar comes around, it's an event. He has the gift of communicating his love of music, his energy and passion. No need to warm up the house. As soon as he starts playing, the whole village comes under the spell of his music. Despite the extreme hardship, a smile and a warm welcome are sacred, and a jibe at the grinding poverty. Another reason why Malawi is also known as the warm heart of Africa.
The people here earn their living from the lake, but the only way I can make money is with my guitar. As the fishing is not very good right now, they can't pay me. We're all in the same boat. If they don't catch any fish, they don't pay me, and me, I can't buy anything. Not even soap to wash. It's a vicious circle.
In southern Africa, Malawi is the land of the lake. This lake, an ocean of fresh water, is where Gaspar lives. Gaspar designed his first traditional guitar with his brother, who passed away suddenly. So before making the trip back home to his village, he puts together a new instrument: an old oil drum, zebu hide, electric wire, and a piece of wood.
The idea of this guitar just came to me. It's a gift from God. Nobody ever taught me. It all comes from me. I'm not copying anyone. When I was younger, I traveled a lot between Blantyre and Lilongwe. One day, my brother had a revelation. He decided to make a 4-string guitar, an acoustic guitar. So I said to him, here's what we're going to do. We have to make a babaton, an instrument something like this one. And we found a third person to make up a band. So we started playing, and little by little, people got to like our music. My brother and I would go from one village to the next. That's how it all began. I'm getting back on the road. Hi. You have some room for me and my guitar?
Thanks to his music, Gaspar has managed to make a name for himself in Malawi, but that's not the most important thing for him. Gaspar's music is a way of celebrating life and keeping alive the memory of his brother who passed away at an age when one's adolescent dreams are still taking shape. The central region of the country, the highlands, not far from the Zambian border. This is where Gaspar grew up.
I miss all the people of my village, and I hope they'll be glad to see me. It's been such a long time. I left in 2002. There used to be houses here. They must have collapsed. A lot has happened in 11 years. Things have changed here.
Gaspar sees his daughter, Ines. He sent her to this village here 2 years ago so that she could be raised by his family.
Ines, how are you? Do you remember me?
Gaspar's older brother, Tobias, is one of the first to welcome him home. They quickly get over their initial nervousness, and in a few minutes, the entire village is there to greet the musician.
Enes is my first child. She lives in the village here with her grandmother. I love my daughter. I'd like her to come with me where I'm living now. I wish it were possible today. She's my first child, and my last. The people are glad to see me, and I'm glad to finally be back. Some of them have aged. They may have forgotten me, but I haven't forgotten them. You don't forget your roots. There's a saying here. The snake always finds its way back to the bush.
In accordance with tradition, the elders of Gaspar's clan accompany him to the village cemetery. They're going to visit the grave of Ukali, Gaspar's younger brother.
I'm your brother. I've come to pay you a visit, Ukali. Maybe you thought that when I left the village I had forgotten you, but you've always been there deep in my heart, because all my talent comes from you, Ukali. There's still sadness in my heart. I say goodbye now, but I too will end up here. I'm only passing through on this earth. We come from dust, and to dust we shall return. I have air in my lungs now, but I will go back to the earth. That's what I wanted to tell you. When Gaspar came back to the village, he realized that a lot of things had changed, and so have I. When he left, there was only one village here. Now there are 8. As for me, I've become the chief of Nyarambi, our village. My heart is filled with joy. I'm just so happy that my little brother is here. It's a miracle. We can thank God. Really.
Gaspar is my brother-in-law. We're glad he's come back, because he'll liven up the village. We'll dance with all our heart. We love dancing here. It's a great day, and it calls for a celebration.
Recharged by the energy drawn from his roots, Gaspar can take to the road once again. He has chosen the path of music, the beating heart of Malawi. Freddie could be a pilot 8,000 kilometers from here in his homeland, Denmark, but he has chosen to fly the skies of Africa.
I think flying is the best way to travel anywhere, not just in Africa, but as you say, the roads are very bad in Malawi. It can take 10, 12 hours to get somewhere, where it takes 2 hours to get in a plane. So that's what I do. I bring people from A to B quickly and efficiently and safely. I've always had an attachment to Africa since I was 4 years old. My parents used to live in Africa, so I sort of was brought up in, I lived 4 years in Tanzania. In South Africa, I did my training, then I came here. I don't know, it's exciting. It's always, every day is an adventure, you know?
Can be a little hard to see, but this is an aeronautical map of Malawi. Malawi is this part here. This is Lilongwe, the Time area. And what we're basically doing is flying from Lilongwe down to Monkey Bay, which is just there. And that's where the hospital is that we're going to visit today. So it should be approximately 40 minutes flying, and then we'll come over the lake. And then from the lake, we'll go around Cape Maclear, and we'll land from the north overhead the lake. So should be a very nice flight. Now it's getting bumpy. We're coming over the hills here, so I better put this map away so I can fly the plane. Traffic 118.1, this is 7 Quebec, Papa Foxtrot Uniform Cessna 210 from Lilongwe to Monkey Bay. We're currently approaching Cape Maclear from the northwest, descending through 3,500 feet. We'll be doing a precautionary inspection of the field and doing a left circuit land 01. We just fly over so they go away, you know, so the runway will be clear when we get back, I hope.
Monkey Bay is a small, isolated town on the south shore of Lake Malawi. Its airstrip is used more as a playground by the children than for landing airplanes.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Fine. My name is Freddie.
Yeah, I'm Pascal.
Nice to meet you. Here goes some medicine. We have some soap here as well. One. Maybe you can just check, see what is inside. The big one here, maybe. We have anti-malarial. We have
there are drugs.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Paracetamol.
I'm sure you'll find use for all this, eh?
Yeah, they're very important.
Every day is new. You go to different places. If you're an airline pilot in Europe, you always know your schedule 1 month before. Here, I don't know what I'm doing the next day, you know? Sometimes we're flying businessmen, sometimes tourists, sometimes we're flying people who are sick, sometimes we fly medicine, sometimes we fly school supplies, many different things. That's what I think makes it fun. There's so many kids around, you know, so you have to be very careful because they don't understand the danger with the propeller, you know. So they think it's all funny and now they're standing there laughing, but when you start up and you taxi and take off, then they'll start running, you'll see. Everyone away!
There are only about 20 planes like this one in Malawi. Here, more than anywhere else, the sky is a realm of freedom that belongs only to those who venture there.
It has its challenges, like the weather is probably the main one. The rainy season is from end of November to about April, and it can be, especially in small single engines like this, it can be quite hard because of we can't go as high as the turboprops, so we have to weave our way through the clouds, thunderstorms, high winds, torrential rain. So that's what makes it exciting and challenging at the same time.
The airplane is perfect for crossing the lake, but the locals can't do without their boats. This passenger cargo ferry calls at the major cities on the lake. The Ilala has been doing regular runs between Malawi and Mozambique since 1955. This boat is the emblem of the country. It's early morning, and there's a stiff breeze on the lake. The boat's captain is worried. At any moment, the Ilala could rip away the landing dock.
The problem's not the wind. I'm more afraid that the boat could tear everything apart. The cables are stretched too tight, especially the short one there. It's really dangerous. We could definitely have problems.
The captain decides to cast off 2 hours ahead of schedule. It's too bad for the passengers who missed the boat. They'll have to wait a week for the next one. Up in the sky, the weather is hardly any better. Freddie is heading towards the north of the country. He's aiming to land on the Chalinda airstrip in the heart of the Nika National Park up in Malawi's highlands, the most difficult place to access in the country.
Okay, so we're going to start our descent now into Chalinda, and we'll be leaving 10,500, and we should be on the ground in approximately 10 minutes. And yeah, we should be able to see the plateau below us, weather permitting, anytime soon. You can see the plateau through there, over there.
Landing could be very tricky in these conditions. Freddie is trying to spot the airstrip.
It's always the pilot's decision whether he wants to fly or not. You make your own decision, and you use your own judgment call, and you just use your common sense to make the right decision regarding the weather. This is the life of the bush pilots. It's brisk, windy, weather was bad, but luckily we made it, huh? And now we're just going to pack up the plane, and then we're going to make our way down to the camp, I think, and see what's going on.
The park rangers are waiting for the pilot in order to carry out a surveillance flight.
Morning, how are you doing?
Nika is the country's oldest natural reserve, a protected area since 1964.
Sure.
This section here is the Nika Zambian National Park.
Okay.
We have officers also there.
Sure.
Zambian officers.
So the headquarters of the Rangers is here in Chalinda.
Here.
And have you had any bad instances of poaching recently?
It's actually we had about 10 poachers came through from the eastern side.
What kind of animals were they poaching?
Basically, they go for the big Irans
Okay.
and the roan.
All right.
Yes. And orchids. At the moment, I think we do also have a problem of orchid poaching.
Orchids, like the flower?
Yes.
So let's hope for the weather to clear up and maybe we can be on our way. What do you think about that?
It would be beautiful.
The Nika National Park is situated between 2,000 and 2,600 meters above sea level. It was discovered by Scottish missionaries in 1890, who came here to flee the malaria epidemics. That was the beginning of British colonization in this region of Africa.
We were hoping that it was going to clear up overnight, but unfortunately it looks like it's even worse now. You can see the fog has rolled in. Maybe visibility is 50 meters, and I need at least 2 kilometers to be able to take off. So as of now, we're grounded. So we're just making sure the plane is ready to go when the weather clears. So you really have to be very careful. Yeah, I think safety is paramount up here for sure.
Nika is the country's largest wilderness area, a haven of nature, silent and unspoiled. Over 400 different animal species have been recorded here, among which the plain zebra and the large roan antelope. It also has one of the largest populations of leopards in southern Africa.
You're working in the morning and in the afternoon you're on a game drive. I don't think many people get to do that, so it's nice. It's one of my favorite places. I don't get to go here as often as I want. If I could choose, I'd be here every week, but that also makes it special. You only come here now and again, not all the time. So we're in the middle of nowhere here. Although we're close to civilization, if you think about it, you fly for 1.5 hours and you're in the biggest city in Malawi, but up here you feel alone. It's 3,100 square kilometers of wilderness and only animals, no one else around really. So it's nice to get out of the city and have a break,
The fog has finally lifted. Freddie and Paston will be able to make their surveillance flight over the park.
In many ways, a buzzard soaring above is the ultimate form of flying, without engines. But that said, birds can be very dangerous as well for pilots, especially buzzards like that. They weigh 4 or 5 kg, If you get one of them through the front windshield, you can crash easily. So you always have to remember you are flying in Africa where there are wild animals and things can go from good to bad very quickly if you're not 100% focused.
Hello class. How are you? We are fine and you, sir. I'm fine. Sit down.
Morning. How are you? We brought you some supplies.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a heavy box.
Maybe we should put them down.
Okay.
So we have some pens, some pencils, and some notebooks for the kids.
All right, that would be very
It's not so much, but I hope it's just a little token gesture.
It's very difficult as we have a lot of kids that are coming from poor families, impoverished. Some are orphans, some don't have a father or a mother. So usually we have to provide books for them and at least feed them once a day.
Keeping the surrounding clean. All right. Dusty, all right. That is one way. Another point.
think Africa offers a lot of possibilities with pilots that you don't get anywhere else. But you also have to be committed to it. You can't just say, "Oh, I go 6 months." You have to do it for a while, and then you'll have the opportunity to build a lot of hours, but you will never get rich. That's just the way it is. But it's good fun.
Freddie feels right at home in Malawi, this wide-open country with such a big heart. And he's not about to leave it. Teresa is a champion, one of her country's top athletes. She runs with determination in pursuit of her dreams of victory, medals, and a better life.
Sometimes when I run, I reach a state when I don't feel anything anymore. I surpass the pain, I surpass myself, my body relaxes. When I'm training, I think of other athletes all over the world. I try to imagine the way they run. I try to do the same thing. I copy them.
Teresa trains 3 times a week here at the foot of Mount Kilimandjaro, the emblematic mountain of Malawi. At 3,000 meters, it is the country's highest mountain.
Running is my life. If I'm sick, I run and I feel better. When I have an attack of malaria, I run and it just goes away. Running is my medicine. My name is Teresa Master. I started running when I was 12, so I've been running for 13 years now. I'm one of the women who wear the colors of Malawi. I run so that people can know my country better, and I would like to run in international meets. My dream is to take part in the Olympic Games.
It's market day in Kilimandjaro, the country's southernmost city.
I live in Tembela, a village near Mulanji. When I finish running, I come home to take care of my family. I'm married and have a child. My daughter goes to the daycare center. When I'm not running, I take care of the house. I do the housework like all the other women. I tend the garden, do the washing, I take care of my child, I do the cooking.
Living in such poverty, one must stick together and fight for survival. So Teresa and her husband Felix have founded a little track club. They named it Sapitwa, after Moulanje's highest peak. Every year they run in the Porter's Race, an extreme trail race of 25 kilometers. Teresa has won this event 8 times. In spite of her numerous victories, she and Felix earn a very modest living, a few euros a month.
Let me tell you our story. Teresa Master and I met here at the track club. I asked her if she wanted to be my girl. She said yes, and we got married. We run with our club. For us, running is our profession now. We don't have any other job. Teresa and I take things very seriously. We run in order to earn our living.
Our club is becoming more and more well known, and a lot of people come offering us help. It's very encouraging, and it gives us hope. When people come, I tell them we need shoes, we need clothes. We thank them for their help.
Teresa, 25 years old, would love to become Malawi's #1 marathon runner, so she trains relentlessly. Thanks to running, she can keep her dreams alive and better her everyday life. Here, close to half the population is under 16. It's as if the young athlete were carrying all the hopes of the youth that dreams of outwitting fate in this country where 3 out of 4 people live on less than €1 a day.
Easy. Go easy. Take a break. Let me know when you've caught your breath. This is a good workout. It's not hard for her. She's used to it. She has to rest now. Then we'll work on speed. The marathon is very difficult. It's a long distance for Teresa. So we're training for her to be able to go the distance.
Okay, now your arms. Go on, use your arms. Loosen up. That's it.
Medium pace. Ya. Mikono izima sula kwa mbili. Basi jikwini.
People think that when you're married, when you have a child, you can't run or compete. That's why I like it when she runs well, to prove to those people who think like that they're wrong. You have to surprise people. She's my wife and I love her. I'm very proud of her.
Felix is my coach and my husband at the same time. But I really prefer the husband. The two of us make a good team. We get along well. I love him.
Felix, who is also a marathoner, takes good care of his champion. He encourages her to attain her goals. Since they've decided to found a family, Teresa and Felix are motivated by the same desires. And for some time now, life has been treating them well. For Teresa, running has given meaning to life, and she still hasn't reached her limits. Her quest as a long-distance runner is far from over. Once a year, the Porter's Race takes place on these twisting mountain trails.
I used to live at the foot of the mountain. When I was a child, I used to come here to gather wood. I would scamper all over the place. That's how I got into training. At first, I would run with my girlfriends. And that's how I got into running seriously. In my first race up Mount Kilimandjaro, I finished 6th. I was 12 years old. The next time I came in 3rd, then 2nd, and eventually I came in 1st. Now I win the race every year.
This mountain, called the Island in the Sky, is also the home of legends. They say that a bizarre creature, half man, half monster, lives up on the summit. Anyone that looks into its eyes disappears forever. Teresa has never gone all the way to the top of Mulanje.
I want to keep making progress and go far, to participate in the Olympic Games and, why not, come away with a gold medal. It would be very important for Malawi, which has never won a single Olympic medal. If I could manage to do that, it would put my country on the map. And I would be very proud of that.
Someday, in Malawi, they may recount the legend of Teresa Master, a determined young woman who dreamed of running the world over.